let's see if this works. It's been a while. Hello, hello. Let's see. Need to get the chat out here too. Painkiller. Okay. We take these. Yeah, so I'll just start when you're watching, because obviously this is for you. Or this first one is for you, at least. Oh, top chat. No, not top chat. Alright, cool. Hello. So, Wrath, I unfortunately gave a 1 to you, to this TLMC, because there are a few reasons. Primary reason, though, is this right here. This base was like 15 seconds side to side on this map. Let's see. Yeah, 60 path. That's like 15 seconds rush distance from nat to nat once those rocks are down. That feature in and of itself feels like it was going to make the entire map not work. I looked at previous versions of Wrath when I was judging because I was curious how it's been in the past. I really liked the idea of it in the past, but it didn't quite feel like it was there either. It's a really hard concept to get right. Outside of this problem, though, I don't know why you put 9 mineral patches in the main base and 7 in the nat. It just kind of felt, or wait, is it 7 in the nat? Yeah, it's 7 in the nat. It felt like it was a bit of a weird gimmick. Just like it's the same gimmick that Odyssey did at that one time. Or when it was submitted, rather. Light from Duckling said basically that it wasn't a gimmick. That the map doesn't work unless you have a path to the gold base. I mean, part of the problem I have as well, and I don't love that this was a weird gimmick to me as well, having all these bases with the like 2 gold patches. I don't like that very much. I feel like it's better off to just kind of have them be normal bases. The problem I have with this path, obviously because there's that super short rush distance, is that rotating through your main is really painful and becomes more painful the longer the game goes on. If the intent of the map is to 7 to 9, yeah, it's to incentivize the back paces. I I wish that these back bases were less gimmick, but I feel like this base is borderline untakeable simply because of that, but also because this 1x ramp in the main, along with this ramp makes it a little bit better, makes it very, very difficult to rotate through here and have it feel good. Thankfully, the attacker rotation between, like, here, I keep clicking on that, between here and here is actually more than long enough to actually facilitate being able to potentially rotate through the main. But you can't take both, so you probably are going to want to take this. But taking this is, let me double check the resource here. Yeah, it's one piece. It's a little weird because Zerg can't take that natural normally. As a natural, they have to take the front one simply because they have to make that base way too early. You know? I guess it can't is really strong. I just feel like I felt like the execution wasn't quite working. The actual terrain around this area it's a little open in this area. I feel like a choke or two. This was a really minor thing, but I feel like a little bit more choke right here, because this area. No, the flank path. I'm trying to remember everything I was thinking about. The flank path is pretty brutal for Zerg over there. So actually, that's fine. Never mind. I don't know. I feel like a Terran push just through this area. Like, Terran takes this nat, breaks these rocks, and then just pushes through here. I mean, they could even siege, like, tanks up on this low ground or whatever. And then it just feels really, really hard to stop. The bottom, yeah, I feel like the bottom just needs work. This whole area is near the middle is a lot better than the previous iteration. But this is just wonky. I really feel like Terran takes this natural and then breaks these rocks and then sieges your main, and it's impossible to dislodge, you know? Or maybe not impossible to dislodge. It's very difficult to actually stop because it's very choky in this area and coming along here, and it's so short. And if Terran does that as well, then they could probably mine out this and take this base as well. So the first 3 bases, I would be wanting to take these 3. I mean, it would make really unique games. That would be really cool at least. But I don't think it's very balanced. You take these 3 bases, maybe you take the gold potentially even as Terran, because you're going to be able to defend at least against Zerg pretty decently. And then you probably take this. So this is 5 bases in this area. And your angles that you're defending from, unless they mine this out, are this gold, which of course is very exposed, but this gold that has that little opening, and this kind of area right here. Because otherwise they have to mine out this mineral wall to get into your main or something, which is very, very difficult. There seems like there's not a ton of flanks on the entire map. Just like attacking into here. To attack into this gold base as Zerg, you have to go all the way around here and then come in through here, which still has a choke. And yeah, it doesn't feel great. Yeah, I think not resubmitting but making a new version with this concept is good, because there's a lot of parts of the map that the Wrath will stay as is, so it could be, yeah. There's a lot of parts of the map that seem really cool, but it also feels like most of the issues that this map has would require a pretty significant just rework of the terrain in large parts of the map. Specifically like this area, which you reworked for this version. But the previous version, it wasn't great either, because the previous version, it had just the little mineral wall and the super choke in that area, which is also incredibly broken. I really want to see the concept work, but I just wasn't feeling the sauce on it, you know. That, and also, if you're going to have a crazy layout, do not add this kind of thing. Like this base right here. I feel like you don't need to encourage these bases this much. And I also feel like the end result of these two... Yeah, no. I love the crazy maps. I really wanted to love this map. But I felt like the problems with Terran and turtling in this top area, maybe not quite turtling, but, you know, I felt like that was a bit insurmountable. These bases feel like gimmicks more than they feel like actual features, because you had a bit of scope creep. Having 9 patches in the main, 7 patches in the nat, and then you have this weird base in the back feels really crazy, and it kind of distracts from the true potential of the map, which is this kind of crazy. And of course, like, just all of these Zerg rocks. There's a little bit too much happening at the same time. The 5+2 are supposed to give the... similar to what Brood War Economy does. That would also be good to put in the notes, unless I'm completely blind and I did not read it in the notes. Let me just double check that I'm not stupid. Yeah, the backdoor expansions have 2, but 2 are 7, but 2 are gold. Yeah, I also, you submit your map image submitted, by the way, was Old Sun Temple, which is funny. Either that or we messed it up on our end. But even even thinking about Brood War Economy, I feel like it's a little too many gimmicks, or not gimmicks, but you know, kind of crazy features, because this plus these, plus the Zerg rocks already turn it into a kind of golden wall kind of level map in terms of this the feature set. And then having the 9 in the main, 7 in this natural to encourage these bases made it really feel like overkill to further modify these bases in this side. Because yeah, it felt like it was just a lot. I think if these are just normal 8 patch bases, then you've already encouraged it with the 7 patches in the nat, 9 in the main. So there's no need to further encourage it like a second time. As well as, of course, this base is already heavily discouraged for some... I'm not going to put the effort into thinking about exactly what races benefit from this. I mean, it's just not Terran is my guess, because of the path here. So this is like a triple encouraged base, you know? Also, potentially you could get rid of... I think if... assuming, which it sounds like you're not going to resubmit it, but assuming you were going to resubmit it, I don't think it'd be a bad idea to just destroy this mineral wall over here. Because there is no... Oh, wait. Oh, never mind. No. I take that back. Because you're going to have the 12 pool issues. I was thinking, though, like, if you have the Zerg rocks stopping people from entering this side of the map entirely. But no, you can still travel that way. But it would enable this base to be taken a lot quicker if you didn't have that friction right there. Because as Zerg, I don't want to take that base simply because it's going to delay my natural or delay my income, because I'm going to have to pull workers off my main mineral line to go mine that out. Obviously, they are gold minerals, so it's a little bit better. It's not terrible mining, but still less friction. This is a good gimmick. The other, I mean, maybe you could put Zerg rocks there or something, or no. If there was some way to stop, if there was some way to just stop 12 or Ling floods from being an unavoidable issue that you can't wall against, then I would like the idea of just this having nothing, or having Zerg rocks especially. If it has Zerg rocks over here, then that issue I mentioned of Terran takes these 3 bases, maybe this and then this, you still have this entrance to the main, which is it would have to be Zerg rocks or something that comes down. Because if it's something that comes down automatically, then it would actually open up this main quite a bit. But Zerg rocks go down at 8 minutes, so maybe they're not the ideal solution. Honestly, actually, is it even an issue to wall against a Link Flood or a 12 pool on this? Because thinking about it, if your opponent goes for this back base, like to attack in through this channel, then they have to fully commit to moving in this path. And they cannot rotate to the other entrance. If you don't scout it, I guess it's a huge issue. Obviously, if you were to make this change, you would also have... What am I... There we go. I mean, yeah, that's even wallable already. I figure taking that base, you would just wall right here. And then, I don't know, have a scout over here or something, and then just be able to wall the main. Walling the main isn't that difficult. You could potentially do it with your tech or whatever. Yeah, even in this state, it's not as bad as... I remember certain versions of Silver Flame were potentially pretty bad for Link Floods. Jeez whiz, it's snowing so hard outside now. Would love to see it. But yeah, I felt like this map had a lot of really cool concepts that I really wanted to root for, but I also felt really overwhelmed by the number of gimmicks, and I had that major issue with turtling. Silver Flame was absolutely the struggle bus. I don't think I liked the final version of it that actually made finalists as much as I liked the previous one back version. Let me double check. Which TLMC was that? That was 20, right? Wait, was it 19? Jeez whiz, it's been so long. Oh yeah, this was the one before we got the Zergrox. I felt like this one was a lot weaker than the previous, the one right before last TLMC, right before it. Which is too bad. I really liked this layout. This was cool. I'm an absolute sucker for the really non-standard first 4 bases. I feel like I've said pretty much everything about Wrath here. Just terrain is a little off in some places, and then you've got the tanking or turtling, and then you've got too many gimmicks. I feel like the incentives of 7 and 9 already are probably going to get some... Do we have judging sheets? I don't know if we have judging sheets public yet. But I feel like the 9 and the 7 change already incentivizes these back bases incredibly hard. But the thing that incentivizes them even more than those is this rush path. And the thing that incentivizes them even more than that is the fact that they are so much easier to hold for basically everyone. So just having this extra gimmick, I feel like should be a focal point of a map that you put it on, or a lot more of one, compared to everything that's happening here. Because it's a lot. So just refined scope. I had to remove all your crystals because they were impossible to look at the overview of this map without, or with. Okay. But that's kind of all I had for Wrath. For Gamer, I basically had the primary complaint of just these mineral walls in the center of the map never really get mined out. Yes, it's 100% way too much to understand for the average ladder hero. Mineral walls already are quite a bit of friction for the general players, or like the lower level players. Yeah, all of these features work together. It's just you're changing the opener, you're changing the nat in a way that a lot of people probably won't even notice, which is less a bouncer design issue rather than it is an issue of the audience, whatever. But then you have the mineral walls. I have a lot of people complain about mineral walls just in general because they're like, oh, I don't want to mine them, it's too much APM. And I'm like, all you have to do is move your workers over there. But that's a very common complaint I hear about more crazy map features, which is also why Zerg rocks are one of the best map features, is because they get rid of themselves. They're rocks, but they get rid of themselves, so they're very versatile and they are very easy to understand for players. They're like one of the best features we've gotten. It's incredible. Slow zones, speed zones are also great features. They're pretty self-illustrating, but like mineral walls is the one that I get the most complaints about. And there is some validity to them because they do just increase the complexity of what's going on. And in this case, I do think moving the mineral wall, or not moving, removing the mineral wall and replacing it with just a properly balanced layout for Ling Floods would be a lot better. And then, of course, these. It's like, I think a lot of players wouldn't even micro the workers onto the patches, which is something I've thought about a couple times. In order to properly benefit from this, you do have to kind of micro onto the patches. Here's a question. Are these normal or high yield? Yeah, these are high yield, which means low. Yeah, okay, so this actually has pretty close to the standard amount. This has pretty close to the standard amount of minerals. Do I mean setting a rally point? There's a little bit of latency. I'm not sure what you mean on setting a rally point. Yeah, I think I like the idea of a post-judging stream a bit more. From the last few times that I've judged, I've gone more and more towards only streaming once I have concrete thoughts on maps and then explaining why I did something, because it's a lot easier than opening maps and trying to form opinions while also talking to people. Your brain just kind of, or my brain just kind of caves in. Setting a rally, the micro with the golden. No, not just setting a rally point. You know how the workers bounce if another worker is mining at the node? You can only have one worker mining at a node at a time, but the reason you can have two is one worker is returning the minerals and the other worker is mining, and they just keep swapping like that. Unless you micro a little bit on the workers, you can only have one worker on each of those gold patches at a time. Like they'll automatically bounce if they desync a little bit. I'm curious if there's zero micro, what the difference is on numbers wise. Anyways, yeah. Good night. Have fun not being awake. So it's funny that Timmy showed up because the next map I was going to talk about was Gamer. My main issues, I had two issues with Gamer. I thought it was really, really good. Yeah, the diagonal nodes are a little bit further. I thought it was really good, but these three middle bases are very, very difficult to take. I think the easiest base to take is this one on the bottom right. This one in the top left only really gets taken if your opponent has been expanding downwards and isn't really in this area, I feel like then you might be able to take it. But it's a very wide open area. I liked the gimmick of the rich gases. The rich gases were cool. I like that you could mine them from either base, and that you're going to have to spend a lot more workers, which actually evens out the fact that it's a rich gas. I like the Kaczynski portrait. I've got a buddy who only uses the Kaczynski portrait. But this center base feels virtually impossible to take. You're kind of helped by these line of sight blockers nearby, but that one feels nigh impossible to actually hold unless you're already winning. Just a winner space, you know. Then my other small complaint, which is more a complaint about feature usage that I have in a lot of maps when they use mineral walls, is this mineral wall right here. I am of the firm belief that mineral walls are only for the defender to mine out. I don't think they ever really, maybe not ever, but they very, very infrequently get mined out by an attacker. And these are neutral, kind of, between the players. And the likelihood that it's going to be worth it to spend the time from either player to try to mine out those minerals. I mean, I guess the Zerg would be the one to do it, but it feels very unlikely that they would ever actually get interacted with, aside from just making that a very tight choke. So I kind of would rather, honestly, just have rocks there, because then they would actually get interacted with. Unless it's unless it's right next to a base, and they can mine it with very short trips, or it's this one got. Oh, I guess I don't know how the other judges ranked it. Where did I rank it? I ranked it reasonably high, I think. I'm assuming you guys have gotten all your screenshots in already. No, I gave it a 3 because of those middle bases primarily. But yeah, that I would just make a rock. Other than that, it was just pretty standard. I like the Dreamcatcher kind of low ground, all low ground in the middle setup. That's something I've never personally been able to quite get the hang of. Yes, definitely. I mean, Incorporeal had the issue of these kinds of untakeable bases, and Incorporeal had them on high ground with ramps going up into them. With one of the ramps you could block. At least certain races, from what I understand, had a huge issue actually taking these middle bases. One gimmick that I want to see. Yeah, exactly. One gimmick that I kind of want to see is full gas bases, because I mean, Incorporeal did these all mineral bases, but honestly, that's just not. All 3 races kind of want gas at the late game, except for I feel like Terran can really benefit from a huge amount of minerals late game. Zerg 100% is gas limited, and Protoss, I mean, yeah, Protoss is also gas limited, but at least Terran can make Marines, so Terran feels like it has the best use for for minerals only late game. One of our submissions this time had a gas only base. It was kind of a crazy gas only base, and I was actually really interested in that. Where is it? Silvermoon. I quite liked Silvermoon. I was very biased by the there are definitely issues with it, but I was very biased by this 3 gas base. Why I have not seen much of light. Why is light judging a barrier for you? Uh I'm the judge generally that is the litmus test for weirdness in maps. I feel like I actually somewhat nuked this map. Page not found. Right on, right on. Thank you, Depressed Marauder. Let me just grab the image elsewhere. I put the image in the chat because I knew this was going to happen. Compared to competition. Yeah. I was a lot more critical of Depressed Marauders maps, what the heck? Maps this contest because the team map contest, I started recognizing one of my biggest issues that I've had with some of his work, which was, I'm actually going to show it here. That should open. Okay. This is Sunset in reverse. I have a massive issue with this map because it has what I called omnidirectional terrain, which is where if you take any point on this map, then you can likely draw a line in all four directions and move in any of those directions. So if I go right here, I can go this way, this way, this way, this way. Let's go right here. This way, this way, this way, this way. There's so little terrain. I mean, I kind of have some terrain there. And there's a base right here. Yeah. On top of that, you also have these ramps coming down into this base and down into this base, and it's extremely open. That's going to be really hard to take them. I very much did not like this map. Again, like it feels like you can even draw a grid. Like a complete grid over the entire map, and you can move along any axis. Like, this is crazy. You can go, there is not a single one of these points on this grid that you cannot just move to immediately. So there's very few actual rotations. Like this is somewhat impactful like terrain because it actually makes moving in through here and here have a rotation. But like it's just so boring. Like so boring. And we actually had this issue on a lot of the Team TLMC maps where it was just like, yeah, there's nothing really wrong with this map. And unfortunately, that did mean that for the Team TLMC, generally you win the Team TLMC because we had issues with just kind of every map was generally had some game breaking issue on it, or was just like super turtly or stuff like that. So just not having terrain generally won a lot of them. But yeah, I don't want to be able to move along every axis at the same time, and yeah, that's why I hated this one. You can see it in a lot of their maps. The one that won, they had a map that won, however, that was not Platform 17. It was which map was it? It was the Missing You Today clone. I'm not gonna mince words here. It was a Missing You Today clone. Where is it? I have no idea. At Eternity's End, is that it? Oh, well, we can't see it. But I wanted to take this moment to really try to discourage. Oh no, this is the announcement of TLMC. TLMC 22 finals. I probably could have done that first. I just wanted to discourage that kind of omnidirectional movement. It's really important in my mind to actually have terrain on your map, because it really feels like something of a cheat code to do the kind of omnidirectional terrain. there is some of it here, but there's a lot more terrain on this map than the others that were submitted, and so I'm kind of glad it won. But this, like, I saw this and I immediately thought Missing You today. Doesn't end up having too many similarities, other than kind of really broad strokes, but still funny, especially this this decoration, this paint. You can see some of it still though, like this path right here, this ramp opens up just another rotation. I don't even know if I disagree with it, but like this is blocked. That's great. This whole area is blocked, like actually rotating in to attack these are different. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like we should double the speed of our map rotations, and we should be rotating in a lot more maps. I gotta admit, I was an absolute sucker for Wavebreaker. I've loved this map for a really long time. I've played on it many times just with buddies. This was my go-to map to just play with buddies all the time. But I do have to question, I don't think Avex is in here, but why why is there a line of sight blocker in the main base? What's going on there? Like, is it to block the Reaper Cliff wall off, I guess, maybe? Perhaps? I don't know. That doesn't make a ton of sense. It's very random. One of my criticisms for this is that rocks were moved from this location, right in front of the natural, to this location. I'm pretty sure they were moved, and not just these were already here and these were removed. But I kind of liked being able to defend a ramp. Oh, it's for cannons. 100%, that's got to be for cannons. You're right. Okay. I liked being able to defend this ramp or this ramp, and I'm a little sad that these rocks were gone, because you always got an interaction when your opponent was knocking down these rocks, because it opens up the way into your natural so much harder. And I don't know, the choke seal not quite as good without it being there. That's like my minor criticism of this version. But yeah, I love this map. I've stolen, not to judge on decoration, because that's illegal, but I've stolen decoration from this map like 5 times, I think. And I haven't even had 5 like finished maps to that get to be played on, you know what I mean? So funny. But yeah, every game I've ever played on this map has played out really well. Great map. I really hope that makes it to ladder. Blackrock was kind of crazy. I was kind of shocked by Blackrock. How it just kind of, I didn't get it at first, but it kind of just was really cool when I realized exactly what these line of sight blockers are, which is this entire low ground is pretty open pretty much everywhere, but these line of sight blockers kind of feel purpose built to allow you to put tanks in them, etc. And that really makes this whole low ground area feel a lot more closed when it's not. And that's cool. That's a really cool concept. It feels like a really novel concept in a pretty straightforward map otherwise. Of course, it's all low ground, I guess, too, which is also very novel. But it's not flashy. It's not, like, especially flashy with what it does. So that was cool. Wait, Washout won? I didn't even realize. Wait, what the heck? I didn't realize that Verdant won either. This map is crazy. I was worried on this map about, like, kind of taking a 4th. It felt potentially quite hard to take a third and a fourth. The idea is cool, though. And maybe we'll see it. I feel like our finalists are, in general, quite varied and quite good here. Which is great to see. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of notes. Sanctuary X-Arc. Your face is... Your mom is varied. Ayo. Dreams and Scars. Dreams is... I don't know if you were here for it, Avex, but I did mention... I mentioned something on one of... Oh, yeah, I was talking about your maps. Okay, you were probably here for that. No, you just got here? Well, you just missed me talking... Well, kind of glorifying... Wavebreaker and Blackrock. Basically, I like Blackrock a lot. It makes a very wide open, low ground only map. Very wide open, low ground map feel a lot more closed using line of sight blockers. That feels like you're begging to put tanks on all of those. It's really cool. I like the feature a lot. Wavebreaker, I actually am missing this rock that used to be here. I think you moved it over here. I kind of liked the interaction that you have between I'm defending in my nat, I see my opponent destroying the rocks, and I know it's gonna happen, but like before then, it's nice to defend on these ramps, and always kind of felt good to me. I played this map a lot. I've stolen decoration from this map like 5 times, and it's pretty much always made good games. It's a bit big, but that's the biggest criticism I have for it, I gave that thing a 5. With a small charge, you mean the large rocks made the distance way too big. You think the small, Oh, yes. Are you talking about this entrance to the Nat right here, or up in here? Yeah, I saw the rush distance. The rush distance was surprising. This is going to be in macro. Yeah. I noticed aren't the accelerations new as well? The rush distance. Yeah. It's really tough because I don't really see many points on this map that can be kind of squeezed down much, or compressed a ton, other than like obviously a complete rewrite of a lot of this. Like, I mean, this corner base, for example. But yeah, that rush distance kind of forced your hand. Oh, what was it? I've noticed in a lot of your maps, you really, really, really miss the old design of maps where you could just have a lot of empty space between bases and you put in interesting terrain everywhere. Like, every time I see one of them, I'm like, it just looks like you're hurting, I'm so sorry, like... Because it's still there. The pieces are always there, and it's like, this man is in so much pain. Yeah. I'm glad that I was accurate in that. I saw something from Timmy about really sucks that you've put so much time into the editor and how little you have to show for it. Yeah, that really does suck. I can't... You had Dreamcatcher, right? That's the only one that That's the only one that really comes to mind. This one's for later. Timmy's maps are always... I always like them, but one of the things that turns me off to them quite often is that it feels like they're very standard, but then they have... I liked Gamer quite a bit. I feel like these middle bases, like the feedback I already gave, But that was like my only issue with it. Outside of the middle bases, though, this feels extraordinarily standard. Very well done in the terrain department and like in using the line of sight blockers and stuff well. But it felt very standard. I personally, I usually, I'm really a sucker for maps with more unique twists to something or another, and not just gimmicks. I'm trying to figure out what counts as that. But I mean, changing up the first four bases is always something where I'm trying to give as much benefit of the doubt as possible to a map when I get it. I don't know if I'm gonna judge the next 1v1 TLMC. At this point, I'm just a judge, which is kind of funny. Because every time I want to make a map, I think, oh, I could make a 1v1 map, or I could make team maps. By the way, if you make team maps and you make them good, if this quality of a map was in the team contest, then it would have swept like immediately, because that last team contest, there's not a confirmed another one this year. I don't have any insider information, or there might be, I don't know. I just mean, I find it very likely that we will have another one, you know? I'm hoping that we'll get another team contest. If we got another team contest, I will be submitting. I have way too many drafts, mostly drafts right now, but yeah. Who sponsored? It was. I'm kind of surprised that Monster sponsored again. Shopify, that's the second one. Okay, yeah, Shopify. I feel like you hate team. Which ones have you submitted to team contest? And to finish this thought, Shopify, I'm pretty sure, is owned by the like CEO loves StarCraft and thinks that StarCraft got him like to where he is. So I feel like they might continue sponsoring map contests, which would be excellent. I'm pretty sure he sponsors a team still as well. Love Shopify, man. Plus you have the TLO. To go on a complete tangent. TLO is on Shopify Rebellion. He's always been an advocate on maps. Awesome. This is my, like, one of my current furthermost map drafts for teams. It absolutely annihilates the eyes. Okay. I should not respond to that comment about the team maps, because I agree very hard. Judging this last contest was very interesting. I kind of want to I half want to talk to Cantu about it or something. I don't know. I need to have a discussion about that probably isn't streamed with people who think similarly to me. Because I have a lot of thoughts to that. Maybe I do stream it, just talk about it here. But yes, no, this is the Eye Destroyer. This is Adversary. There's a lot of doodads that just clip at this range. You've got main, pocket base, and then this base is kind of the one that you can take as the other nat, and it is wallable. I feel like I would love some cool lava textures, especially for this map. I feel like there's a lot. The base density on this map feels very high. But I've kind of got the basic idea of here, you mine this out, you open that extra entrance, which opens up this whole area a lot. Otherwise, you have these. This feels a little awkward at the moment because it's a cardinal ramp and it's kind of stubby and it's... I gotta polish this area, but, you know, I feel like I've got some cool concepts on here. It's changed hugely significantly from my previous version of the map. I feel like it's a lot better. Right. The problem is I haven't decorated, as you can now see. Like even some of the paint, because I keep changing things. Even some of the paint is messed up in places. Oh yeah, they're fun. They're real treats. I've got this Zelnaga over here, which is cool. Is pathing paint gonna screw me? Whatever. It sees this entire area. Don't the particle... I don't know. I haven't really used them anywhere else. So maybe I shouldn't use them, but they felt very appropriate for this. I also have incredibly other buggy stuff like... Okay, so this decoration I'm pretty happy with. Although this was recently destroyed from being high ground, so it makes a lot less sense than it used to. Like, this all was cool. I'm very happy with my bridges that I made. Those are new. Oh, and then I've got... Can you see it in here? Oh yeah, you've got these as base markers. These are crazy. It took me a while to make these. Or to get them quite right, and you have to adjust them for every spawn. Anyways, I am quite attached to this layout. Your breakout map with BTTV, nice. Yeah, I'm quite attached to this map layout at the moment, although it has to go through more significant changes. The funny thing with me getting attached to map layouts is that I always love it, but then I kill my darling every time, and then I love it way more afterwards. So, they never last too long. Anyways, this is my best draft at the moment for team games. I'll probably post it again. It usually doesn't get much feedback. Okay, back to the reason we're here. Quick side tangent though, for what Timmy said about the team judging, is that my biggest issue with the team, one of my biggest issues with the team judging, was that they were... Scrap the bag and go with white and red. Ooh, that's true. It is still really striking. Okay, yeah, I'll remember that. I'll see what I can do there. My biggest issue with the team map contest judging has been that there is a massive emphasis on... Let me pull up one of them. Team TLMC results. Okay. Newland. Newland is a great example here. Newland got it got lowered in its score significantly because the judges generally agreed that this space on the left and this space, or this space on the left and this space on the right, would each be taken by a player instead of players taking the bases together, because players are stupid and you have to assume that your players are stupid to make good team maps because you play with randoms all the time, and if you don't design it so that the players will always gravitate towards the right bases to take together, then it's going to get nuked a little bit in judging. I agree to a degree. I think that is a valid point, but I do not see that as an issue, especially on this map. This map is quite good. Like, yeah, they have a point. They have a good point. But, like, these two bases are so obviously to be taken together in my mind. My suggestion, actually, specifically for this map was Uh, the map maker, this is a killer smile map, looks quite good. He's done this. It is super race and matchup dependent. Team games, I feel like there's this weird thing where it's like currently we're trying to judge maps based on the lowest common denominator that you can find on the ladder, which is a silver player who stays on 3 base and masses carriers. Like, I don't agree. Their point mainly though in a lot of their decisions is that you want to avoid games, null games is I think what they were calling it. Basically, null games were games where the game never really happens because it ends because of a map feature that maybe not gently encouraged, but like kind of it just gravitated towards a player throwing with their like base placement or something like that. It's like we want to avoid games where it's very easy to get caught in that kind of thing. Weird SE2 ladder maps. Weird thing that I have though is like they love Sludge City. They really, really love Sludge City. Sludge City is probably the best Blizzard map in teams, but like it's still got so many problems. One of the biggest ones, in my mind, is that exact problem. After you take the double gold nats, that green map, which one is that? Which one is that? Not Snowy Mesa. Can you remember the name of that one? Here are all the names of them. Unless is it City? Emerald City? I mean, oh, there was Fields of Death that also got added. You don't play teams. Is it this one? I argue that Sludge City is good for a Blizzard map. Emerald City is genuinely, by the way, Emerald City is genuinely a great map. It's very well designed for teams. However, it's gotten pretty stale because it's been on ladder for so long. Anyway, Sludge City. It has the exact problem that they want to avoid. You both take a gold base as your natural, because obviously you would take a gold base as your natural. And then one player takes this normal base, which can be sieged from the low ground by tanks, which can be a large problem. And then the players always split. I have played so few games on Sludge City where the players do not split every time. And I have a hard time convincing even myself that it is not even the right play to split. Because one player takes this gold base and the other player takes this base over here. They're both very close for like the players, but like it's a gold base, so you kind of want to take that. This base is pretty hard to, I mean, it's not especially harder if you're taking this gold base, and usually it is the correct play if somebody wants to take it, but it's so hard to actually go to your friend and say, hey, I want to take these bases together because these don't go anywhere, but it also feels wrong to not try to mine out this gold base immediately. So the other way you try to go and take is you try to take these bases together. This base is right bordering a high ground, which is pretty hard to keep the base from. It's also super open. And then you're kind of trying to take all of these bases, which don't play super well. Yeah, it splits players up, which is their exact problem that they try to avoid. And I don't understand why they like it so much. 2.5 base, all in hell. Yeah, 100%. It's kind of large as well for the longer games, and these bases are so much more defended, and it's so hard to get into and attack them. So kind of the aggressor is very often heavily rewarded. Ling Floods are borderline unstoppable if you get a bad racial matchup on this map, because you cannot wall that 5x ramp. So if you spawn right here and you're a Protoss, then you're kind of screwed if you don't have a Zerg or Terran teammate. If you're double Protoss on this map, then you kind of just lose. Zerg always has to go for Banelings. but that's pretty much just a guarantee if there's an enemy Zerg on the other team in almost any team map. But still, there's no way to wall, and yeah, it really limits the variety, plus it gives those gold bases. It's a little messy. There was a huge push to re-add Sludge City. The other map that we did end up re-adding that I actually made changes to is Fields of Death. Fields of Death, I am curious, do you guys like the edits to Fields of Death? Have you guys seen the edits to Fields of Death? This is what they look like. Basically, here's a kind of short list of the changes. I added pathing in a lot of places to choke it up in a lot of places. I moved the Xel'Naga Tower from right here. I don't know how good the stream is. You can let me know if it's bad or I need to zoom in more. But I moved the Xel'Naga Tower from the center of the map to the corners so that you could actually see a lot more. And then I made a choke here. I moved the mineral lines a little bit. I made them more standard so that they actually mine normally. I extended the high ground on the main so that you can't shell the main base with tanks from the low ground. I added a place where workers can bounce between the between the bases on the thirds. That's my bad. And I added this base right here entirely, this rich gas. This rich gas base has single-handedly made this map so much more interesting, because the number one thing that would happen on this map is somebody turtles on 3 bases, or one team turtles on 3 bases, gets Sky Toss mech, and then just kind of wins the game. The changes that I made in general seem, especially like this Xel'Naga Tower lets you actually scout air play a lot better coming to your main, which is one of the biggest vulnerabilities of this map, or of these mains, is that they're so abusable by blink and by air units. So this Xel'Naga Tower helps a lot, and then this rich gas base actually lets players who are not just trying to turtle actually take an extra base or 2 or more, and actually, you know, get that economy needed to kind of burst down players who are turtling. Yes, this base right next to the main is completely worthless. It is a trap base. It is completely a trap. Oh yeah, and I added a couple more like pathings as well. Air units are a little bit worse in general. So this ramp right here got made significantly smaller. And I added a ramp to this top left corner, bottom right corner bases. So now you can actually take this whole area a lot better, and you can actually fight in this area with ground battles and not have it be a completely wide open field. There was a lot of extra choking that I put in, because you can see on the left here, like it's now an actual kind of choke on this base. Oh, and then I added the Overlord pillars all over the map. These 2 right here are both spotted by the Xel'Naga. There's one right here, one right here, and one right here, and one right here. That's now the closest to the naturals that you're going to get. Generally, I personally have enjoyed playing on this map a lot, but that's because I made a lot of changes, and I just kind of get to let my ego go hard, you know, every time I play on this map. You know, it's fun to play on your own map. But yeah, it is definitely still flawed, but... Oh yeah, and I moved these gold bases out from the center a little bit, so that they are a little less harassable by air. I added some pathing here. I added pathing in a lot of places to just kind of create potential chokes. I had a lot more changes originally, but I had to remove a lot of them. Yeah, just kind of scope or otherwise. This rich gas base, by the way, is not, you cannot hit it with siege tanks on the high ground. That was a really important note. Anyways, Um, yeah, I don't know why we put Fields of Death back onto the pool. Really flawed map. I don't know. I didn't have much space to really argue too much on, I mean, why are you here if you're going to give out all ones and the maximum is a 3? I don't disagree though, because I mean, giving a maximum of a 3 kind of dilutes your own judging power. Anyways, I didn't have a ton of space to disagree with a lot of the points because there are so many valid points in, like, yeah, no, you want to have allies generally encouraged to expand together, but like this, I feel like this encourages it enough. And that was something that map was put down for. New Bed of Chaos, I was a big proponent of. I think I might have liked it a little too much. Gem Garden is a map that they all hated. They really hated. Lol. This was the vote that probably got it in. Oh, it's not in there anymore. Gem Garden truly was too large. I misjudged just how large it was. But Gem Garden had some of the best terrain, I think. Gem Garden, I've had some funny games on Gem Garden. I mean, you can probably guess which judge I was. I wish I had done more, given more iteration feedback for Rust Bucket, because Rust Bucket is very open in places. I actually ended up editing it after it made it to ladder, because I was like, I need to see what I would do to kind of help this along a bit. But Rust Bucket was a modern Sludge City impression. Generally, I haven't finished my sentence 3 times. I wasn't in much of a position to argue with a lot of their points because their points were both valid and the overall submissions. There was no submission where I could really point to it and say the only issue with this submission is not expanding together, you know? It's like, yeah, this map shouldn't win. And like, even independent of it being, I disagree with how much emphasis you're putting on expanding together as one of the big things, but also I still don't think that map should win. This map had a pretty simple issue, and that was that it was extraordinarily choky. We actually had Polka was a really devastating map when it was on ladder. That was a terrible map. Oh, this was a crazy one. It's probably removed. Yeah, it is removed. I remember the Timmy maps from this contest now. Yeah, this was one of them. Yes, they do test the maps. I played a few of those too. You posted your simple, where did you post them? Just in progress team maps. Yeah, I feel, so I hope they don't, oh, whoa, Avex. That's a crazy center. Yeah, I felt the shitpost energy from it, but I also don't, it wasn't worse than this map, you know? I feel like it got a bit shafted, harder than it needed to be. Wax City was one that was really enjoyed, and it's gone! Awesome! Okay. Sorry, I just love Depressed Marauder maps just disappearing. This map has a big issue. I'll go over in a second. I like your idea for Fields. It's interesting at the very least. Was Mizan even judging this time? I don't know. I feel like for the next Team TLMC judge or contest, if we do get another one, I almost feel like we should get a fresh set of judges. I mean, maybe me included. Nothing against you guys if you do end up listening to this. But but I don't know. I feel like we'd see some potential, a lot bigger shakeups. Admittedly, it doesn't really matter because we got like no submissions. You see how many submissions we got for all of this? We got 14 3v3s, 18 2v2s, and 15 4v4s. We got virtually nothing. And it's so sad because these Team TLMCs very, very infrequently get like any submissions. You know, Timmy, I don't know if he was. I'm sorry, but like, not Mirage. Problem with getting new judges. I have one guy that I've talked a lot about when judging. I don't know if I should admit this, but I have a couple of friends that I often will do my judging, and then I will go talk to them, and I'll be like, hey, here's the scores I have right now. Do you see any glaring issues that I missed that would, pose a big problem? I started doing this especially after Incorporeal. I gave a very high score to Incorporeal because I like the middle bases, and I cannot believe how wrong I was. I was so off the mark. That was not a good map. Those bases were decoratives. But, yeah, so I have a Terran friend and I have a Protoss friend. My Protoss friend tells me how he'll abuse the maps, generally. And my Terran friend, generally, he has a much more holistic approach for most of the races. But especially, he knows where the tanks go. He knows where he's going to do a parade push. He knows what he's going to be abused by. He plays ladder pretty much every day still. I definitely don't play ladder every day. I'm one of those retired map makers that plays only direct strike and mono battles. At this point, I play a lot against AI even, and team games is kind of all I do. So yeah, it's great. They usually ruin everything that I love and hold dear in any maps that I like. This contest, fun fact, was Killer Smiles map, Wrath. I had it at like a 3 because I really, really wanted to like it. It ended on a 1 because talking to both of them, they found so many ways to abuse the heck out of it that I was like, yeah, there's no way that doesn't just become meta. Yeah, I don't know if I give it a 1 right now because I've looked at it more. I don't know if I give it a 1 again, but like, I still feel like it would just be ultra abusive, insta-vetoed everywhere, and would just stable. I feel like there were too many issues. Here we go. This map had the issue of 2 players take these bases, 2 players take these, or other players take these bases. Basically, the enemy can ping pong between these two, and the defenders can't. You have to go back through the main, across, and over. The defender's rotation is very long. The attacker's rotation is very short. This is abusable from air and from tanks, and it split maps hard, even considering all of that. The path to get across the map and to attack into these bases is quite limited as well. Mossfire. Yes, Mossfire, that was actually something we talked about a little bit, of just how, I'm not gonna lie, how bad it looks. We were like, hey, if this goes into iteration, can we at least get like a visual overhaul? Previous TLMCs, we had that one, that one 3v3 map that's supposed to be in like the mountains or something? That thing looks terrible. Such a terrible, busy texture. And like, it was just like doodad fill for trees everywhere. That one felt similar. It got on ladder at some point, I believe. Let me double check. No, not the source code for Malik. Mountain Pass. Mountain Pass. This one. Look at this. Look at this. What kind of madman uses that paint on the low ground? You know, like, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, dude. Sky Piranha map, by the way. Just insane. This was on ladder for a while. The layout itself is decent. It's good, you know. It's good. But Sky Piranha, please, like. So there's this thing in the editor where you can go in and you can actually change the texture paints that you're using. And then you can use more than one texture paint on the low ground. So, just a helpful tip. Yeah, no, this caused me physical pain every single time I played on it. Horrible. Good layout, but horrible texturing. Please don't, Timmy. They're not gonna let you iterate it. Like this is Hackriff. Yeah. So please don't, guys. Can't. Wax City was an experience. I really wish I could show you it, but Wax City basically was rooftop terrace. Better made rooftop terrace, but like no middle of the map. It was like you were 3 creep tumors away from your enemy's natural. You know what I mean? It was crazy. Indolence. How about indolence? This again, like, gang. Can we decorate more than doodad fill and a single paint per layer? I have noticed, character, not to call you out or anything, but like, bro, you gotta start decorating your maps again. Where's Defender's Lab? I don't like the decoration on this one very much. And yeah, I guess there is trims. It's hard to see the trims from just the overview, but like it's super basic. It felt low effort compared to some of his other maps that he's had in the past. I guess he's always had a very minimalist style, but I mean, like, Altitude looked really good. This map does look good. This map does look pretty good. But like a lot of these team maps have like compare Rainfall to this. Like, oh no, I shouldn't have said that then. Oh no. Oh, that's so funny though that I called out Altitude as being good. No, Burning Bridges. Okay, Burning Bridges. You can't you can't get away with this. Burning Bridges was a really good looking map. Let me find Burning Bridges. Team TLMC 4 maybe? No, that's killer. Character. Oh, Undercurrent. Undercurrent looks great. Look at Undercurrent. No, this one doesn't look bad. This doesn't look bad, but like it also is extraordinarily simple. And like there is like virtually no decoration. I'm just like, I'm a little disappointed. Because look at this. Look at this. This is Undercurrent. Undercurrent looks spectacular comparatively. You know? Like, this is still quite simple, but it is also, like, it has popping colors, at least, and it has, like, stuff in the background a little bit. There's like, kind of an outline. It just feels, it feels way better to me. And then you've got, like, Crimson. Crimson's alright, I guess. These look a lot worse, but, like, he cooked. He cooked on the other one. On under. Grab Vindicta. Oh, we gotta get Vindicta to judge team maps, dude. I guess that would never happen. Can we get TLMC SC2? Where do I get to the TLMC mega thread? Here we go. Which map is uglier? Iron Dragon, Mossfire, or Netsphere? Netsphere is... I don't remember Netsphere being bad. Okay, so first off, Iron Dragon. Iron Dragon I had campaigned so hard against. Let me get Netsphere. Wait, where's Netsphere? Oh, there it is. Netsphere also has issues. Oh, awesome, Depressed Marauder. Oh, you're so cool. Okay. Sorry, I'm just loving the removal of... loving the removal of maps. Of map images all the time. Yes, more. It even made it to ladder and I still can't see it. Awesome. Oh, so cool. Okay. Awesome. I'm probably gonna play some team games tonight. If you guys wanted to join, feel free. I've got my the worst balance mod ever that I've created. It is horrible. I'm taking pretty much any suggestion. Currently, energy recharge gives 1100 energy over like 5 seconds, which is incredibly broken. So it's very funny. But yeah, let's go to the image on here. It's not 3v3. What am I doing? It's not in the current pool? Yeah, no, it's not in the current pool. Wasn't it last pool? Wait, what? Do they not have it? I could have sworn. Wasn't it on ladder? You're writing a script, like an actual program? That's kind of cool. I don't have faith that it's going to create anything good, but... Oh, for like showing new people how to do it. I have some crazy, like, I want good team maps, you know? I just want good team maps. Lexophanism, Lexa, look at how they massacred my boy. What happened? What was this era? Like, why? Pray tell, why did we cut out a corner of the map and just make it weird dead space and just remove this corner? Why did we do that? Why? I don't get it. I did not like these edits. Yes, okay, so Netsphere is gone. Netsphere is never coming back. We will never see it. Oh, wait a minute. Team map. Okay, burning bridges, right. Wait a second. Okay, I need to glaze, first off, I need to glaze, character first here. Because I've said some hurtful things. Okay, so there's no image. There's no image of burning bridges here. Burning bridges. Here we go. Burning bridges. This map looks spectacular. This map looks great. It plays pretty well too. I've played on it a good few times, and it plays well. Good map. Really good map. A little sad that it didn't make it to ladder. This would actually be a great map to put onto ladder, honestly. Just like next pool, honestly. Why not? Like, you know, who cares? Good map. We don't have a ton of other stuff. Ontario was also good. Timmy, this map is also pretty good. Oh, Jacob's Summit though was excellent. Reclamation is still standing as like probably the best 2v2 map. Design wise. Thank goodness Killer and Character aren't here, because one of them's getting absolutely roasted eternally and the other one's getting glazed eternally. Where was... Oh wait, we haven't updated this thread since number 20. Yeah, no, Character's awesome. He's cool. I like him. Cool guy. He just needs to decorate his maps like he did on Burning Bridges. Great map. Just great map. It is so crazy, some of these further maps. Also, Sandstorm was better before the edits as well, in my opinion. Although some of the edits did have some good parts as well. The losing those gold bases, though, I feel like detracted from the map. Hexagon. Let me get some chocolate. That's the good stuff. Okay. We have gone on so many tangents. Let's pull it back a little bit. We've got Iron Dragon. We can't look at Netsphere. And we got Mossfire. Between Iron Dragon and Mossfire, it's a really competitive. You see, Mossfire is a single color. But Iron Dragon is 2 colors. So, really hard to say. Honestly, probably Mossfire might look a little bit better. The Rust aesthetic is really hard to get right. I mean, in the contest that we just had, we had, Rust Belt, and Rust Belt did a Rust aesthetic pretty well. But like, this looks good. It's kind of got some divergent stuff, but like this looks good. I guess this is less Rust, and this is more just kind of the worst texture from the doodad section. I feel like, these rocks do not look good. They're so low poly, dude. Funny that they used them. I don't know. Oh. Why did they look so bad then? I guess... Yeah, I guess they're not necessarily low poly. They just look so bad normally. Normal-y. I hate myself for that. I mean, yeah. I like how serious map when this thing made finalist. What was Indolence? Oh yeah, I was hoping that Indolence would make top 5 instead of Iron Dragon. quick recap of Team TLMC, by the way. Iron Dragon has tank spots for days. And the middle, I don't feel like the middle works. And it's like uber compressed. And like this right here is Death Valley. Like everything that walks in this area gets shelled by 18 trillion tanks. Or even stalkers can cover that entire choke. It's not a rotation. Let's not pretend it is. And I mean, don't judge on aesthetics, but this thing looks like Sin feels, you know what I mean? And yeah, I don't know. I didn't feel good about the layout. 4v4s were a tough category. I mean, there's also this. Wait, this is just Mossfire, but why is it just Mossfire? Judge 1. What, Spirit of 2026? Who was I? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That's such a funny feedback. Points for trying. Oh man. Oh, points for trying has gotta be one of the funniest feedbacks I've seen. Honestly, one of the biggest problems I see with this one is that it's just really, really odd / hard to actually... Oh, nice, you did rotational but mirrored. It's really hard to rotate with your team and like, it's just weird, you know? Like, things don't feel like they flow well on this map. Which I think is in large part because of the reflection, but also because I feel like if it had gone the inverse of this, like if I draw this, if the main bases had instead gone like this, then you would have been able to take 2 gnats here and maybe a gnat back here and a gnat back here, and then you could just focus on defending in one place as a team. Or maybe if they have some way to go in on the side like that, I feel like that's far, far better than the attack surface here, which is this. So you have to go like that to defend, which is a little weird. And then you take the new bases and it becomes this, which is if the enemy teams are coming in through here, which is pretty likely, then you cannot defend your ally by walking through here. You have to walk kind of back through the main and then back around, which is not the most egregious rotation that I've seen on a map like this. It feels like you just go left and right in the middle. Yes, I don't think this is 4 versus 4 worked much better, but it did work better. You know what I mean? Like, which is crazy because this thing did better, didn't it? Yeah, what did this is 4 splits into 2 versus 2. Oh, okay. Yeah. I think that this works better, personally. Although... Yeah, I think that this one... I genuinely think this is a better map. I think I may have been Judge 1. I think I like it more now, but I had to have been... Wait, or was I this one? Wait a minute. Oh, wait, no, I think I was Judge 3. Yeah, okay. Did Judge 1 give... Yeah, no, I was not Judge 1. I 100% gave a 1 to Iron Dragon. Okay. Oh my goodness, I was not kind. Oh, I'm sorry about that. That is kind of brutal. that is not constructive either. So there's that as well. Uh, Jeez whiz. I was feeling a lot of things when judging this contest. All right. Azazel Nuggets hard in the middle pods that use parts in the middle pods. Pretty average, man. Nothing really sticks out, but it works well enough. I think this is just kind of my average score that I was going for. It's just really crazy how nuked it got from other judges, especially considering Spirit of 2026 is just, yeah, it's an inversion that works worse. Like, this is just awkward to defend with your team. This is a lot more natural, apart from the sides, which the sides are... Oh yeah, I didn't like that you could have all pockets. I actually think that this idea works, or, you know, the inverse of this, works better if there's one pocket per player, and maybe it doesn't expand into anything. Like, concentrating the team better together. I don't know. Why did they nuke it? Really static, good use of space, at least. Judge 4. Oh wow, we had 7 judges. I forgot about that. Wax City, I feel like, was really favored more than it should have been. Quantum Experiment, yeah. Quantum Experiment. Okay, let's see. What else did we have? This is 4 versus 4 had more potential, but I do feel like they had some point here as well as potentially splitting players up because of those sidebars. And of course, pathing across this map again is it's not good, because if the enemy attacks in to this side, then I have to come in through here or come in through here. If my army is sitting on my foremost base over here, then I have to come in behind the enemy and attack into them. And of course it's to the side. I don't know. I feel like reflection symmetry is just incredibly difficult to actually get working in teams. I have tried to make 4v4s. They are so incredibly difficult. But I also feel like reflectional symmetry makes it even more difficult. I've actually done a 6v6. Let me see if I can find my 6v6 map. This is probably going to be a little embarrassing because of how bad it's going to be, but... Okay, so I had that, but that one didn't really ever get far. Where is the big one? Okay. Here's one of my big ones, but did I... Oh, yeah, this was crazy, too. Okay, that one was not developed. This, okay. So, I have 3 6v6 maps, because I wanted to really see what I could do. Wait, how is reflectional symmetry easier to decorate than rotational? Is it just that you only have to decorate a quarter of the map instead of half of the map then? Because you're like 4-way reflectionally symmetry? Because with rotational you only have to decorate half of it as well. And I actually like rotational a little bit better, I say, as I boot up the map that's largely... It's reflected twice. Yeah. Okay, so that's what I thought. I don't know. But this, here you go. This is my first version of my 6v6 map. And yes, I'm aware that I fell into the classic new map maker trap, even here, of let's add rich gas, rich mineral bases. This was my first one though, so we can judge too hard. I primarily, when I was judging the team maps, my main priorities were basically like, can I defend with my team? Can I defend with my team? And can I reasonably like take bases, and then is it abusive in ways that will make it hell to play on, kind of. And I think your goals there are fair. My problems that at least I had with your team maps, at least in 4v4, we can look at the other ones as well, but in 4v4, my problems are with your pathing because like here, like I mentioned, I'm going to have to attack through the enemy army on my own to try to go help my allies on these bases, and the same thing over here. The enemy rotations are just like really short, and mine are really quick. Or you know what I'm talking about. Um, and it's just the rotations. The rotations killed this one so hard for me. Um, for this one, of course, it was largely the same thing. These side bases are all isolated from the rest of a lot of the rest of the map, and it's just really really awkward to go into there. I feel like even though it's easier to decorate, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a reflectional symmetry map that would actually work. It just seems so difficult in a 4v4 to get it working. I mean, I have right here. I have something somewhat reflectional, at least. Um, I have a group of like 14 people that sometimes play on Thursdays. So I have a big reason to make team maps, and especially very large format team maps. Um, so that's kind of why I have all these crazy drafts. Unlimited Alchemist, by the way. Oh, wait, no, that's Killer again. Unlimited Alchemist plays well. Oh, that's going to be tonight. Oh, cool. It's a different group than the other. Anyways, I feel like this was decent. I don't know if you guys have anything to say. Yeah. Okay, when was this message? I can't see when that message was. I don't know if you guys have anything to note on this one. I'm just gonna kind of like open them each. But, you know, I've at the very least, tried to make a lot of different kinds of team maps. I had this, okay, that was a free-for-all map. That's not really relevant right now, even though I want to show that off. This was my second version. You say that, Avex, but you kind of, like, both of your maps for teams kind of insta-swept on the last one. So I need you. So I took that previous version, and I think this is, yeah, I think I made it reflectional. That looks horrible, actually. I'm not gonna lie to you. This section right here is hell on earth. Jeez whiz. Huh, okay, well, that was something as well. And then I made the third edit, and I think that's the last one I have right now. Yeah, no. That's definitely why I dropped it. Let's see what I dropped it in favor of. Okay. Well, I'm not gonna lie. It's quite the funny change. Instead, we now have, I love it so much. I love Redshift so much, man. I can't hide it. I literally submitted to one of the team TLMCs as well with a map called Edge of Obsidian that was just kind of this exact same thing. I was really enraptured by it for a little bit. And that had 0 adverse effects. I mean, it is funny that you can point and say, on one side, you can say, redshift, and on the other side you can say flashback. Yeah, 6v6 redshift. What a legendary map. I never finished this because I also was just kind of... it just didn't feel right, you know? I had no idea what to do on this side. It's pretty large terrain, but it feels uninspired. Yeah, the base is on the right, yeah. Maybe I come back to this and maybe I edit it some more. To anyone watching the VOD, welcome to the last hour of just talking about things that aren't the TLMC judging stream. I don't know. This was fun to make, but man, if I were to ever revisit it, I am scrapping this left side and probably the right side. I'm not gonna lie, this is kind of a disaster now that I think about it. I don't know, do you guys think that this right side is possible? I don't know. Right side is probably fine. Potting bases when you have 6 players is so impossible, by the way. Oh my goodness. The way I tried to do it was like partially like, oh yeah, you have these 2 bases, but then you have 3 here and 3 here. So you at least everyone gets nats, you know? A 2x for 6 players, it is too little, but I also like what am I supposed to do, you know? Like I feel like this is also kind of this, you can just reduce this to a 4x pretty easily. Wait, can you actually? 6, 8. Yeah, you technically can. But this would be terrible for 4x players, honestly. The base density is so high. I have space to... What, to add a third rich base? Oh, there's no ramp here at the moment. No, it's supposed to be a 3x, like this. How messy. Yeah. It literally, those rocks were sitting on nothing. Yeah, there's no ramp at all. Oh my goodness. And it's so crazy because once these go down, once they're actually mined, then they're just going to go into the enemy mains. It's so cancerous. Man, I like the idea of playing this map. If I were to come back to this, I'd probably start taking a look at maybe Blackrock or Dreamcatcher would probably be my 2. Why bother with rocks at the ramp? That's a great question. That is an excellent question. Who knows? Anyways, moving on. I might revisit that. That one's fun. Have you guys seen Honor Chasm? Honor Chasm, I really love my Honor Chasm. Wait, do I have a 3v3 map? No, I don't. I did have a change to that. This map has gone through so many iterations. These double rocks on the mains, those go away if a player spawns in either of these 2 positions. So it's just through triggers. Whenever players spawn in, I was having a lot of issues of a player spawns in, or players spawn in both of these or one of these positions, and then nobody spawns in these because I play really large format games on this map. Why did my brain just empty of all thought? Oh yeah, so it's like kind of unreasonable to wall off of this immediately, or at any time kind of mid game. So there's just 2 rocks. Okay, there's 3 rocks on that one. There might be 3 rocks on all of them, but yeah, it's just like a nice little counterbalance. A lot of bases. This map can get laggy if you're playing against AI, but I feel good about the base density on this one. You've got a Zelnaga here. This map took a long time to get the iteration where the entire middle was low ground, and this was low ground, because previously it was high ground, but it makes the entire map flow so much better now. And I got really funky with this base. Anyways, I just love showing this map off, and I love playing on it because it's kind of fucking awesome. Okay. No, don't open another map. Let's get back to it. Yeah, I already talked about Gamer. This map, I don't think the map maker is gonna be here, but you just need more. You need more polish. You need to work on beating. You need to work on. You need to work on. I don't know. I don't think they're gonna be able to see the chat in the replay, so we're gonna bring this over. Need to work on beating. Need to have kind of more interesting terrain. Rich minerals with a rich gas is a very dangerous idea. Yep, it has extraordinarily large mains. There's a lot of weird stuff going on, but none of it really forms a single cohesive package. Yeah, it doesn't have the sauce. Is unfortunately the best way to put it. Azure Shores. This map has already been iterated on, so I don't feel a great need to actually go over it all that much. This top area was my issue with the map, as well as some of these bases. These bases had issues. Some issues. I like kind of the central gimmick. I'm noticing that this main base actually looks very weird now, though. That looks so naked. I don't know if the author is in our Discord, but you need to place geysers at least 5 cells away from the town hall and force 3 workers to have the equivalent income to 6 per trip. So just putting geysers like 2 or 3 away is not effectively doing anything. You're talking about this gas being a little bit further. Yeah. Yeah, okay. I don't know who the maker is on this one. But yeah, this one, Azure Shores, has already been getting new feedback, new iteration. I think the new version's already a lot better. I'm not going to say too much that I was planning on saying about that one. Old Sun Temple, I believe, didn't it win? We don't need iteration on them if they... Well, we need iteration, but... Yeah, it did win. I didn't really have much to say about this one, though. I just opened this because I thought it was Wrath. Dreams and Scars. Biggest issue with Dreams and Scars is this layout right here. What happens if a Terran Doom drops my main and then has siege tanks behind these mineral fields, and I'm a Zerg? Well, I lose the game. That is the biggest issue. Doom drop equals you lose the game. Yeah. It's a high ground, too. If this was a low ground pocket, then that would help at least. But, like, even Protoss or Terran versus Terran gets Doom dropped, and you don't have air units for vision, then you just get shelled and you just kind of lose, and they can control this ramp, and then they can kill your main. It's like, what even? Other problems with the map is that third bases are kind of doable, but like third bases can, on this layout, this side layout. I mean, yes, slow zones might help. I feel like rotating the space would certainly help that doom drop issue a lot. If you rotate this base in the top left, then a doom drop would not be able to hide behind the minerals and take an incredibly good fight. As for the other layout, I think taking a third base is a little difficult. This layout, though, with the doom drop, you get to take your third base. You don't get to take a base after that. Not really. It's kind of borderline impossible. It feels like people are just going to 3-base all in every game on this layout and doom drop. And on this one plays a lot better. This one plays so significantly better. That's the feedback for that one. Where's the Museum of Art? What? Huh. What other maps we got? Gukton still has a few huge problems. So, Gukton removed the really long distance mineral mining over here. It also had a bunch of places where there was just like no building paint and stuff. They removed that. That's a good idea, I think. Makes it a lot less weird. The gimmicks that we have remaining are a lot better, a lot more refined in scope. The problem is, this is just a random dead-end area of the map where siege tanks can hit one of your natural options. What? Why is this here? It's got this tiny little ramp going into it. So basically, its only function in life, other than maybe reducing dead airspace by letting like stalkers blink into there, or you just chase into there in general, I guess the only function it really has in life is just allowing for a siege tank to hit this natural base. That's really brutal. This base, this other natural, also has a siege tank spot that can hit it right here. And this back area, like, I mean this with no ill intent, but like, the description of this map felt pretentious. It felt somewhat pretentious. Not this. This was fine. It was the detailed images, I think. StarCraft 2 maps which diverge from the standard in the late game are just standard maps in disguise because all important decisions have been made before they kick in. The earlier the twist, the more powerful the butterfly. Yeah, okay. That's whatever. And give players an actual choice. I don't know. Just the way this felt. Oh, yes. This was it. This map features space some people call inefficient or pointless. It is intentional. If everything is really obvious on how it is supposed to be used, there's nothing non-obvious, aka surprising, that will excite you. This feels like you're mansplaining something to me. And it also doesn't feel like it actually at all explains like that there was a point. It feels like you just added this feature to add a feature. I don't feel like this has actually contributed anything. You're just trying to throw stuff at the wall to see what happens. But I mean, I can tell you one thing that will happen. Tank spots. They're all over those both of your natural options, and it's pretty abusive. Like, at least with this one behind the main, it only hits the minerals on this natural, or behind the natural. It only hits the minerals on the natural, and you can get a pretty sick surround on it if you're trying to deal with that. But at the very least, like this up here, I just don't. It serves as a tank spot to hit the natural, and this down here also has a tank spot that hits the natural. Because of those two, even just alone, I couldn't give this a good score. The rest of the map, it has some cool concepts at times. I don't know. It's just, it was alright. This base has like double minerals, or double resources, I believe. So I guess it mines for a lot longer. Same with these top bases. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say other than that. Did I have anything else? Sunset in Reverse I already mentioned. Wavebreaker I quite like. Azure Shores got absolutely shafted. What was Shadow Garden? Oh yeah, Shadow Garden was just a large improvement over its previous version. Arbiter. Ah yes, Arbiter. Oh yeah, Planetfall. Planetfall has got some important stuff in it. Basically, this base... So, this map feels like it could pretty easily be turtled. It's got an incredibly long rush distance. It's a 36-second nat-to-nat, which is insane. And on top of that, this whole corner of the map, if you take this high ground base the furthest up, you get to take the other two basically as long as you hold it. Tanks can overlook this entire flank path, and the rotation actually, so it kind of covers this, and the rotation actually defend it, or the other base is incredibly short. As for the rest of the map, rotations are, it's just very defensive. I'd be very worried about this just turtling somewhat, and especially split mapping later on. Like early mid game it's fine, but well, not even fine because it's a 36-second nat-to-nat distance. But this is gonna split and it's gonna be nasty. Anybody have anything they want me to look at outside of this? Also, always feel free to ping me on the Discord if you want feedback. One of my friends, when I was looking at these maps, and we clicked on Luminous City, he said I would give it a 1 for the name alone, which was pretty funny. Biome. What's biome? Like Team Biodome, or that one biome thought doesn't know their history. I'm trying to remember biome. I came out in the Discord. There was recently an argument where I kind of roasted somebody for not remembering when Blizzard started turning over map making to the community, and then about 2 minutes later, I realized that I was wrong by a long shot on it. That was tough. You know, that was really tough. Yeah, no, I was so confident. Oh man. That one's gonna, at 3 a.m. laying in bed, that one's gonna come up sometimes, you know, like, damn. You know? Just happens. This contest, I was generally a lot more moderate. Like, I gave out 1.5 that I increased. I gave out 1.5 that I increased to a 5 because it was at like a 4.75. And I didn't have a ton of maps that I really, really loved. And I also didn't have a ton of maps that I really, really hated, which was very different. Can I find... Oh, yes. See, oh, wait a minute. Is that that's the one with all the different, it's with the different, obviously the different biomes, but it had like the lava one, the like kind of desert one, and the forest one. And was it a 5 spawn or was it a 3 spawn? Yeah, it was a 5 spawn. Yes, I've played on biome. I've played on biome multiple times because there's so few 5-player maps and it's such a funny number of players. Like just free for alls. Yeah, no, that plays all right. It's all right. What is it? There is a Pentaquark, I believe, is my favorite 5-person map though. To be fair, I like the decoration on Pentaquark probably more. And all they really had to do for Pentaquark's asymmetrical... Well, no, they would have had to place that all by hand, though. No, because of the circular symmetry, the 5-person circular symmetry. He could probably place them all pretty decently and then just touch up. And then, like, change the color. Because the only change between the spawns was the color of the trims on Pentaquark. Okay, well... I should go. If anybody wants to play an incredibly stupid mod on even dumber maps, then I mean, I've been working on it. And I'm pretty much ready to terrorize the entire world with what I've done. I mean, you saw while I was judging, you may have seen in the map making channel, I got this absolute glorious map. I mean, this has got to be something, right? But yeah, no, we'll have fun. Yeah, this has got to be a map that was created, even. Like, it's crazy, you know? It's actually crazy. I'm going to probably have to update this map so that we can do a 5v... What's this? 5v9. That'll be funny. 2 players won't get nats. They'll get the gold bases as naturals. That's even funnier. You know, we really have it all. We truly do. We have it all. I decorated it for some reason before making an actual layout. Like, what is this? This isn't even symmetrical. This is kind of just you sitting there. I added this thing. I was like, oh yeah, hit that thing right there. Beautiful. It's the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. I'm not dissatisfied with my low ground deco, but it's not winning awards. So yeah, so if you want to play on maps that look this bad and play interesting, yeah, yeah, if you want to play on maps like this with a mod that has let me just see if I where is it? Ah, yes. If we go into the crap posts folder and we open mistake.sc2 mod, that's how you know you're cooking with kerosene. You know, like, let's just go ahead and take a look at some of the changes that await you. Ah, yes, the Nexus has been changed. It's got the invulnerability shield upgrade, or a thing. The mothership is twice as big, costs twice as much, and has like way over double the HP. The mothership also has Vortex. Except I somehow got the wrong version of Vortex, so this just kills a single unit. It's also the only ability on the mothership that has an energy cost. And feedback does full damage. So, you know, that's kind of just going to be hell. Warp prisms have the siege tank attack. Why? I ask you, why not? Battle cruisers, they're like way more than twice as big. Yes, it truly is one of the mods of all time. And it's incredibly fun to play against the AI with. Liberators? Why wouldn't Liberators... And I also love these kind of changes. I added the sight radius back to 10. I have some genuine just balance changes mixed in with it. Liberators have 13 anti-air range. And 20 anti-ground range. The 20 anti-ground range is not quite 20. They can siege up just incredibly far away. It's a little... There's a little nuance. Ravens... Now, you're never going to believe this, but they have 0.13 faster energy regen per second. Isn't that just insane? Just for you, I'm going to increase it to 0.7. I can't increase it to 0.7. I can increase it to 0.72. Now, that's just crazy. You don't get this kind of stuff anywhere else. Now, siege tanks, they had their sight radius reduced and their range increased to 14. Why? Nobody knows. But you can experience it too by searching for the worst balance patch ever made, or whatever I called it. I think the name changes like every time I upload. Baneling Burrow Move upgrade. Why not? Everyone loves Baneling landmines. I even think that the Ultralisk has like, yeah, but he has 250 more health. You know? We're making changes just because. Or one of my favorites, which is Spawn Locusts have 3 charges. Queens, when they transfuse, double the max HP of the unit they transfuse for about a minute. That is so broken. And Zerg's not even the best race. I mean, Warp Prisms with Siege Tank attacks are pretty good. Anyways, you want to play this, hit me up. I don't get on super often, but like I'll add you to the Discord because I just kind of, you know, there's a rare breed out there that likes playing on these mods, and that breed is actually kind of just me. Hi, Tactical Fluke. But yeah, no, it's a lot of fun, as well as we ever get enough players, we play things like StarCraft Changeling. StarCraft Changeling is kind of like you play 3 people on a team of an Archon versus 1 player on their own. And one of the 3 players is trying to throw. And you're trying to figure out who the person throwing is, which they can do things like canceling upgrades and stuff. You figure it out by keeping track of like, oh, I'm touching this thing right now, or I'm doing that thing. They're trying to throw, like, they'll micro things wrong too as well. You get these constant accusations of I think you're throwing because you can't possibly be that bad, which is pretty offensive if you're not throwing. But it's great. That one, highly recommend playing that on your own if you ever get a good friend group. Anyways, I am going to go. These are, we had really good map submissions. I'm really happy with the quality of everybody's maps. And, yeah. Well done, everyone. Hit me up if I didn't cover your map and you want feedback, specific feedback on it. Some of them I don't feel strongly on, which does make it a little bit harder, but I'll do my best. See you later.